Hi, this is the 13th Wolfman, and this is another Midnight Movie Review. Tonight's Midnight Movie is From Dusk Till Dawn. This is a great movie. I mean, it was directed by Robert Rodriguez, edited by Robert Rodriguez. The screenplay was written by Quentin Tarantino, and then you got this impeccable cast of people that are in it. Tarantino himself, Fred the Hammer Williamson, Tom Savini, Greg Nicotero, George Clooney, Harvey Keitel, Julia Lewis, just to name a few, and of course, the oh-so-beautiful Salma Hayek. Now, as you all know, I mean, I'm pretty sure that anyone that is a horror fan out there has watched this movie. You know, it's a movie about two outlaws that are on the run from the cops who wind up at a bar joint in Mexico that's being run by vampires. This sound like the craziest movie that you would ever see? I would think so, yeah. I mean, it starts out as a road trip movie and turns into the survival of the damned, I guess is what you could say. But Tarantino and Rodriguez have a really cool chemistry in how they work together. If you listen to the commentary, Tarantino said, you know, he had a really cool idea, you know, a dissolve of when they show the woman in the trunk of the Cougar at the beginning of the movie. And Rodriguez was just kind of like, yeah, I know what you mean. That's a really cool, you know, they grew up in that same era, which is pretty much my era, and a few other guys out there in YouTube land. And from that, they got they got inspired by pretty much the same movies, you know, whether it be Rolling Thunder or the Andromeda Strain, you know. So when they set out to make a really cool movie, they thought, why not roll a bunch of different genres together and let's see what we can come up with. Well, it's a heist movie with the Gecko brothers, you know. So you got Richie and Seth Gecko who have just robbed someplace. We don't get to see the robbery, but they rob a bank, and Seth Gecko, played by George Clooney, gets busted. Richie Gecko busts him out of jail, and in the process, they wind up killing a few people. But Seth Gecko is not a killer. He's a thief. Richie Gecko is a nut job. There's nothing else to say about that. They're on the run. They meet up with Harvey Keitel and his family, who they ask, oh so politely, haha, wink wink, nudge nudge, to take them across the border to Mexico. When they get across the border into Mexico, they wind up at this bar where Seth and Richie are supposed to meet the man that's gonna set them up in Mexico with a new life, basically. Well, they have to wait until morning, so they're at this bar that's open all night, the Titty Twister. Yep. And that's where the road movie, the heist movie, turns into the vampire movie. I think this movie is just, I can't say enough good things about it. I think it was well done. I mean, there are little foobars and flubs along the way, if you watch the movie. But overall, this movie is essentially a great movie. I enjoy everything about it. I love the vampires. I love Salma Hayek. The guy that gets to marry her, what a lucky guy. Or actually, I should say the guy that is married to her, what a lucky guy. And you could see that Rodriguez made nods here and there to previous films that he'd made. Tom Savini, a.k.a. Sex Machine, wears the schmeckle pistol, I guess is what you would call it, you know, from Desperado. And I don't know, I love this movie. I love vampire films, but this movie is like one of the really cool vampire films. And I really think this was one of George Clooney's better films. I've always wanted that tattoo he has. You know, that long tribal tattoo. I haven't got it, but I've always wanted it. So to wrap this up, if I'm going to say anything about this movie, I'm going to say it's a 3-chainsaw movie. Still not the perfect movie. It's not a 4-chainsaw, but it's really, really close. That's my review. Of From Dusk Till Dawn. This is the 13th Wolfman. I'm on the prowl.